Good Saturday morning, everyone. Today on Perspectives, we'll learn more about a concept modeled after schools in North Carolina and Louisiana, where some of your best and brightest students complete their final 2, 3, or 4 years of high school, focusing on advanced studies in math and the sciences. Well, 30 years ago, that concept became reality in Alabama at the Alabama School of Math and Science, ASMS, a unique public-private partnership creating a public residential high school. It is a boarding school where residency is a requirement for all students, but the students are not charged room or board, tuition, or for their books. All of their courses are comprehensive, though, taught at the advanced placement or honors level. ASMS's focus is to prepare its students for higher education, producing college-ready graduates. ASMS says that it is a school for students who are ready for an accelerated learning environment that challenges them to maximize their potential, and it's set apart by its academic rigor, residential learning environment, leadership opportunities, and research focus for students. Admission is open to all Alabama high school students through a process that's similar to college admissions. ASMS says that students leave the school excelling on every level, inside and outside the classroom. The school, they say, has a transformative impact on a student's success. ASMS is educating Alabama's next generation of leaders, scholars, and innovators. Our guest this morning on Perspectives, Dr. John Hoyle. He is the president of the Alabama School of Math and Science, and Senior Zoe Moon, who is also the ASMS Student Government Association president. We'll meet both of them in just a moment. And that's after a quick break. We'll be talking with our guests about all the benefits of ASMS and what the school means to Alabama. That and more when Perspectives continues. Welcome back. Our very special guest this morning, Dr. John Hoyle and Zoe Moon from the Alabama School of Math and Science. We thank you both for being here with us this morning. Celebrating 30 years, the concept and the discussion, the dialogue started taking place in 1989, I believe. Tell us, how did that happen, Dr. Hoyle? We know of one of the dynamic ladies who was in politics and government at that time. She was a driving force of this. Give us your interpretation of what happened and how this developed into what we have today.
So Ann Bedsole is the founder of the school. She's a remarkable woman. She just wrote an amazing book. That's what she did during the pandemic. I don't know what you did,
right.
But that's what she did during the pandemic. Well, she was in the legislature at the time, and she looked around and saw that gifted students, smart students, like Zoe, needed a place where they would be challenged to their maximum potential. So she pushed very hard and got local leaders together like Steve McMillan and Walter Bell, and they formed the Alabama School of Math and Science.
When you look at the schools that were out there at that time, did you see the success there of what was going on, like in North Carolina and Louisiana?
There was a school that started like ours in North Carolina first, and they've had amazing success. And then other states started to follow suit. And so Alabama decided to build a school like those schools, and we've had a lot of success ever since.
I think about the Triangle area in North Carolina and wondering if any connection with that, how it happened there. So, what attracted you to the school? Now, you've been there nearly 20 years now.
I moved to Mobile after Hurricane Katrina. I lived in New Orleans, and we came and evacuated here, and I haven't left. I love the Mobile area. I have 2 kids here now. Mobile's been wonderful for my family, so I am not going to move back anytime soon. I love working at the school. It's empowering, and it's amazing to work with students like Zoe. You know, you're going to meet Zoe and talk with her, but all of our students could sit in that seat and do a great job.
What attracted you, before we get to the next point, what attracted you to the school? Were you familiar with what was in Louisiana, or was this your first exposure to it?
I was. So I was a teacher in New Orleans. I taught history, and I recommended several of my students to attend the Louisiana school like the ASMS school. And so I was familiar, and I was excited to know that Alabama had something like that in Mobile. And I applied, and I was really hopeful to get on with them, and I'm very excited that I did.
That's outstanding. So Zoe, we'll bring you in here now. This one, for a lot of times, the parents, is a very difficult decision. You are from Autauga County.
I am,
And
yes.
you live northwest of Montgomery, for those who may not be sure exactly where Autauga County is. But you're at least almost 3 hours maybe from home? Was that a part of a tough decision there, or you were elated about the opportunity?
It definitely was a tough decision for my parents, but for me personally, I was just ecstatic to attend ASMS.
What attracted you to the school? As Dr. Hoyle was saying, that this gave students who were high achievers an opportunity to have everything they needed in front of them and have some college experienced educators teaching you at the same time. Are those some of the things that came to mind?
So particularly for me, at my old school, it wasn't a bad school in any way, but it didn't have the high opportunities I wanted to achieve, specifically in my math classes, which is what ASMS was offering. Plenty of very college level electives, and as well as AP classes that my old high school wasn't offering, and as well just the leadership opportunities and other just opportunities ASMS was offering that I couldn't have got at my home school.
And that makes a difference when the opportunities are somewhere else. Tell me, what was the, I guess when the light came on about your abilities in math and you really wanted to achieve in math, but also in the higher level courses, when did that happen?
So it goes all the way back to my 6th grade. They offered us a chance to, when we started 7th grade, start with Algebra 1 rather than the regular courses. And so just going from Algebra 1 and following the current mathematics curriculum at that time, once I would have reached 10th grade, I wouldn't have had any higher math to take at my old school. And so ASMS would have given me the opportunities to take higher maths. So.
And we aren't talking about back in 93 or 2003, but we're talking just, what, 3 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's amazing that some of the counties have not progressed yet. Is that one of the issues when you look at where Alabama is as far as the offerings? We still have school systems that need to have these advanced courses in place?
That's right, and Alabama is making strides educationally, but ASMS, for example, will never run out of math classes. In fact, if a student tries to take all the math classes we have, they'll graduate before that, because we have the ability to create what we call directed research or directed reading classes that go above and beyond anything, and we can tailor make them to the student's needs.
How does that work? Do you have consultants, or do you have the staff that's in place? They know how to create those things?
Our faculty members are outstanding. They're wonderful, smart people. They have advanced degrees. 90% of them have taught at the college level. So these are experts in their field who are passionate about what they're doing. And if they connect with a student and that student tells them, well, I took this class and I really want to keep learning, then what they can do is, if it's all serious, they can design a class together, present it to our board of directors, who will investigate whether or not it's a worthy pursuit, and we can sign off on that class happening.
My goodness. So
And it happens all the time, by the way.
Okay, so sky is the limit.
It is. It truly is.
That's very exciting. And especially in these days and times when so much, you see emphasis and people are looking at how do we get our top students into the STEM and the science and the math to be able to offer them what they need to, I guess, continue stimulating those great minds.
Well, we're a residential program, so think of this. You don't go home at the end of the day and forget about learning. You get to stay around your friends, and you can go to tutorial sessions. We have classes that occur at nighttime, and students can get together, and that learning just continues throughout the night. Now, there's plenty of fun, and Zoe can talk to you about that. She puts a lot of the fun programs together. She planned prom. She helped with that. She's got an amazing event that's coming up tomorrow. So there's fun that can be had at the school, but yes, there's balance, but the emphasis is on academics.
How was that for you when you first got to the school? Was that an adjustment to make, or how did you receive that?
It wasn't particularly an adjustment for me. My sophomore year specifically was a bit of an adjustment overall, because that's when we were all adjusting to COVID. But last year, my junior year, settling in, it was it made the experience better because yes, we had our emphasis on learning, but we also had that community emphasis as well. So you feel supported by your peers and the environment you're in.
So you survived COVID as well. That's something that's changed a lot of people's lives. And I guess in the last week we've had information about student scores from around the country been affected by COVID. But with you all being there, you didn't leave and go home for the COVID experience.
No, we stayed open. Now, we've had a couple of students here and there who, of course, got COVID, and they would go home and recuperate and come back. But I'm happy to say that our test scores have not dipped as a result of COVID. Our teachers worked very hard to counterbalance what was going on, and they did a good job. And so did our students. They should be commended as well.
Did you have a tough decision to make as you were evaluating what to do?
Of course, but at the end of the day, a boarding school is best experienced in person. So it really wasn't hard at the end of the day. Once we created a bubble and once we set parameters in place, our community bought in and it worked pretty well.
That's good to hear. And of course, you can hear from Zoe sharing that definitely has been a great experience. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Alabama School of Math and Science. Dr. John Hoyle and Zoe Moon here with us this morning, sharing with all the great benefits of a program that maybe your child is at that grade level to consider. More in just a moment. And welcome back to Perspectives. This morning we're talking to Dr. John Hoyle, the president of the Alabama School of Math and Science, and Zoe Moon, who is also a president of the Student Government Association at the school. Now, we were talking briefly about, you sort of gave us a little teaser, Dr. Hoyle, about some of the programs that Zoe has been involved in, and there evidently is one coming up that's extremely exciting. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I am highly involved in the Student Government Association. As mentioned, I'm the current president of the student government, and we just do a bunch of events throughout the year, focusing on just activities for the student body, spirit for the student body, and as well as initiatives for the student body. So along with planning a prom and winter formal, and as well just being there for our students through occasional goodie bags and food-based events, one of the big things we've done this year through our initiatives committee is helped raise money for the school's new science building that they're building, and through a program known as Mega Musical Chairs. It's both an event that will be happening tomorrow, Friday afternoon actually, as well as a fundraiser. And so my student government throughout this year has been raising money, and we were able to reach $10,000 to donate to the new science building. And tomorrow afternoon what they'll be doing is a big group of students, about 100 students, will be playing a very large game of musical chairs, and the winner from that event is designated a plaque in the new science building with their name on it. And as well as that game, we're going to have carnival rides and just carnival foods. We're having fried Oreos, popcorn, hamburgers, but just all with the mindset of giving back to the school through the actual fundraiser.
You're really setting the bar high for the future classes that come behind you, indeed. And so this is all in conjunction with, you've got exams coming up here. So is this a way of relieving some of the possible stress and anxiety that some of the students may have? Most
definitely. We like to incorporate, specifically before our exam week, the student government held something known as a wind down week, where we just had relaxing events such as like picnics and slime making and just food events before we started our exams. And then throughout our exam week, we like to have kind of low energy events, but then also on the weekend, more high energy events to keep that balance of something to look forward to for the students.
When you look at the benefits of being residential, do you see more opportunities to help each other where students are studying together and seeing, because I know my son, when he was in pre-med, they had a lot of the tutorial and studying together, so you had a chance to work together. Does that help some of the students who may be a little concerned when they first get there?
Most definitely. One thing that is really nice about ASMS is after our school day, we have students that have been through courses already run study labs, and for both their peers and then the younger students are able to go to these study labs and either get help with things they need or work together on assignments to just build that community learning, which is a a really big benefit for the school and the students.
That sounds very good, because I can imagine coming from, say, a place where you may not have had as much exposure, but then coming to ASMS with what you're offering and the level of both the educators and the coursework, that would be something to help make that transition. What do you hear from the students when they compare that to what they may have left back at home, so to speak?
I think the students, they really like the friendships that they're able to build. I know with our alumni brunch that we had this past weekend, that you hear from the alumni that most of their friendships from ASMS, they're still in contact with these people. And I think it's just being in that community where you're constantly around your peers, you get a much deeper connection than you would at a normal high school, and just having that support from such an amazing group of people, either whether that be your roommate or your hallmates or just your friends on campus in general. Having that support is one thing that the students, they really enjoy, because that's not something you can get to experience at what a normal school would be like.
Right, and having a chance to do some peer work together, that sounds exciting. You know, when you talk about this, Dr. Hoyle, how difficult is it to get into ASMS when you think about you're taking the best of the best from all around the state? I know you do have openings available. How does it work for a student to get into the school?
So the first thing I need to tell you is that you do not need to be a genius to come to ASMS. So get that out of your mind right away. We're looking for hard-working people who would thrive in a residential environment, who want to make more out of their time in school. So it's a lot like a college process. You take the ACT, but there's no cutoff number there. So we're looking for your score and we'll assess it, but that doesn't necessarily play into the decision. We want to reflect the makeup of Alabama. So we take students from all 67 counties, and that's the diverse environment that we're able to thrive in at the school.
So when does the process begin if you want to get your child, someone who's watching today, prepared for this? I'm sure they're in middle school now and thinking about ASMS.
If they're in middle school, they should come to our summer camp. It's a wonderful program. It's the STEM Leadership Academy, and that's going to happen now, and they can sign up for it now. They can visit our website. But if you want to be a student, the enrollment process starts in the fall, and it usually ends in March.
Okay, and so what happens? What should we do?
Sure, so we're looking for students who are in 9th grade or 10th grade, and they can come as sophomores or juniors. They'll fill out an online application, and they can take their time doing that. They need to take the ACT test. We look at a grade point average. That's important to us. It shows that they're working hard at their school, but there are also teacher recommendations that they submit. And then if they get all that in, then we'll invite them on campus to a personal interview, because we like to get to know our prospective students and their families.
Well, it's an exciting program, just hearing from you, Zoe. Tell us, what are you going to do next?
So I'm attending the University of Alabama, their honors college specifically, and I'm going to be doing the STEM to MBA program, where I'll be on an early business path, as well as majoring in economics and environmental engineering.
And when you say you were talking earlier about the college placement courses, are you already going in with college credit in place?
Yes, from some of my AP classes I will be going in.
Okay, how many? Give us an idea how many hours.
I'm not particularly sure. I know I have like AP Lang credit for my English, hopefully for AP Lit, the exam I took just yesterday actually, as well as AP Environmental Science and hopefully AP Government.
So that's one of the advantages of what's offered at ASMS.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, tell us, as we look forward to make your recommendation for those who are watching this morning, who are considering it and maybe a little apprehensive about the residential part, tell them, because you made it seem like it is really a benefit.
Yes, I was definitely nervous coming in, for me specifically, because I didn't know any other students coming in to ASMS, but within my first week on campus, I made friends that I'm either still rooming with now or I still keep in contact with. So no matter how nervous or worrisome you may be about coming to ASMS, everybody on campus is just so friendly, and there's a community for you wherever you may be from, whatever you're interested in. There's plenty of different communities you can find throughout the clubs on campus, and overall the academics as well. there's something for everybody, no matter how nervous you may be.
Excellent, excellent. Dr. Hall, give us a closing 30 seconds.
So I'm very excited that you invited us here today. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Ann Bedsole for having that vision back in the late 80s for starting the school. We have 3,000 alumni strong. We serve the state of Alabama. We're preparing leaders so we can do research at the school, and we also have the Joe Bonner Leadership Academy now, which takes students and thrusts them through this leadership program and gives them real skills. So we feel like it's developing the potential in students so that they can better Alabama in the long run.
We thank you both very much for being here this morning. Congratulations on 30 years, and of course, 30 years and now on to beyond, correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. John Hoyle and Zoe Moon. And for more information on the Alabama School of Math and Science, here's the website to check out, as well as the phone number, location, and of course the other social media platforms where you can reach out to ASMS. And I forgot to mention, you both are dressed in the school colors this morning, the green and the blue, and the dragon is the mascot. Well, we thank you for watching Perspectives this morning. Remember, you can find all of those episodes at fox10tv.com, the Fox 10 app, or on our YouTube page. I'm Eric Reynolds. You have a great day and a